I never.
I said I'm right.
5, 4, 3.
Hey, everybody, we're all gonna get laid.
Live from the Robster Studios, you're listening to Totally 80s and 90s Recall. If you're new to the show, we're giving you a backstage pass to the iconic music, blockbuster movies, and pop culture moments from what should be everyone's favorite 2 decades, the 80s and 90s, brought to you this week by the wonderful people at V8. Feeling a little sluggish? Hey, should have had a V8. Well, I am one of your hosts, David, and jumping on the mic with me as always, the king of nostalgia, often imitated, never duplicated. It's my good friend Rob.
Watercress.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're going to do that again?
Hey, we have a letter today.
Oh,
It's been
nice.
a while. Today's letter comes to us from Danny. He writes, Dave, Kurt, and Rob, I'm a high school student, and I'm anxious about my future. I want to avoid being stuck in a menial job with no prospects, and I hope to attend college. Unfortunately, my family and I are struggling to cover the cost of tuition. Currently, I work as a caddy at an exclusive country club catering to affluent clientele, and my girlfriend works as a waitress at the same country club. Recently, I volunteered to caddy for a local judge. He happens to be the club's co-founder, and it just so happens the director of the Caddy College Scholarship Program. I've become attracted to the judge's promiscuous niece, who is visiting for the summer. At one particular instance, she seduced me. We ended up having sex in the judge's house, only to be caught in the act. To add insult to injury, my exchange student girlfriend may be pregnant. After being caught with the judge's daughter, I fully expected to be fired and have my scholarship revoked. I was surprised when the judge only demanded that I keep the misadventure a secret in exchange for receiving the scholarship. Dave, Kurt, and Rob, what should I do? Well, Danny, in this world, you're going to find yourself becoming frustrated with the constant cheating of others. Despite this, the Totally 80s, 90s Recall team wants to encourage you to remain ready. You may never know when fate will feign an injury in hopes of having the contest declared a draw, only to find out that the game of life will forfeit unless they find a substitute. That substitute is you, Danny. One day, Danny, you're going to find yourself at the symbolic final hole, the score tied, and you being required to complete a difficult putt to draw even. Those around you are going to raise the bet, offering double or nothing on you making the putt, which your detractors will accept. Your putt might just leave the ball teetering over the edge of the hole, seemingly costing you the game. Just when you think it's all over, Danny, there will be an explosion that will shake the very ground you are standing on, and it will cause the ball to drop into the hole, handing you the victory. Now, if you walk away from today's episode hearing nothing, at least hear this, Timmy, Danny. There is a force in the universe that makes things happen, and all you have to do is get in touch with it. Stop thinking. Let things happen. Be the ball. And most of all, remember, Danny, 2 wrongs don't make a right, but 3 rights make a left.
That's correct. Mm-hmm. Well, I think we're done. So we can
There you go.
cap it up.
Fancy.
I think you summed up today's show. So
There you go.
we got nothing else to explain. So there you go.
So that's Danny. We gave him some advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. I wasn't solicited for that advice, but you speak for both of us, so that's fine.
I figure it.
Yeah. Or you speak for all 3 of us.
I figure I
Turns around.
know what you
It's a
guys are
threesome.
going to say.
Yeah. So did you?
It's not a threesome.
Did you enjoy our sponsorship there? Yeah. Just to be clear,
Yeah.
we're in no way sponsored by
But
V8. But what I am saying is,
the folks over,
if somebody
who
at
owns
V8
I bet it's like Pepsi or something.
if somebody at V8 is listening, or if anybody on the show that's listening to our show,
It's Campbell's Soup Company.
yeah, if you are adjacent to Campbell's Soup or know somebody over there, we're willing to have them as a sponsor. In fact, here's 2 pluses, Rob. Yeah. You enjoy it, so part of our crew enjoys the V8.
It's gluten-free.
Gluten-free. And our demographic, a lot of that listens to our show probably are V8 drinkers as well. So you're getting a big net cast
That's right.
of people. So unlike Wayne Campbell, I will bow to any sponsor. So if they want to pay and be part of the show, reach out to us over at Campbell's
Soup.
Soup.
Yeah.
And we will have a V8 every week on the show.
80s, 90s recall at gmail.com.
That's it.
And they
We're
recently
ready.
just changed their name just to the Campbell Company, not
Campbell
Campbell
Company.
Soup anymore.
Oh, it's just
Yeah.
Campbell
Yes.
Company.
We're more than I think
They're more than just soup.
Yeah, it's that jingle. We're more than just soup.
That's not a jingle.
It is now.
Is it really?
They're going to hire him for that now, too.
Campbell soup, we're more than soup. That's it. Something. That's the new jingle,
Wow.
I think. So,
So 2 episodes in a row, we start off with
The V8.
V8 or soup. Or
they're our sponsor. I can't do anything.
That's
So,
right. 2.5 servings of vegetables.
you've already heard him, but joining us for the first time in 2025 with a cool $14 in his pocket, which we will not ask him how he made. It's the movie hound, Kurt.
I made it the hard way. I did make it the hard way. But that's all right.
That's all right.
It's not always hard, but, sometimes you can do it and make $14.
Well, welcome back to the studio.
Well, thanks for having me.
Been gone a long time. You
I've been gone.
took your.
I had some medical issues in my family. I was taking care of a family member for a
is
few
correct.
weeks.
He's being a good son.
I did.
We were going to disguise this. I was just going to say, when you joined the program, part of your contract said from December to January, I get 30 days off.
No, that's not true.
That's it. I'm out of here. I got to go relax.
I just played the, she's sick. I got to take care of her.
There you go.
I didn't tell you she left a week and a half ago.
No. He's been enjoying
That's right.
the peace and the solitude.
I've been hiding.
So, well, we're glad to have you back.
But now I'm going to be here, 2 or 3 times in the next month or so.
Yeah, you got a nice break.
Now you're going to be sick of me.
That's right. You got a nice break. Now we're putting you back to work. All right. This isn't free around here.
You just
We're
pulled
trying
landscaping.
We're
dude.
trying to we're trying to pull in big sponsors like V8. All
But
right.
my, but my hands hurt.
My answer. No, this is the wrong one. We're not on that
I'm
today.
sorry.
That's right. So, well, Rob, since
Yeah.
you want to spoil everything and not quote the right thing and call people Timmy, why don't we tell
Betty.
everyone
Betty.
what the topic for this week's episode is?
We are looking at 1980s 45th anniversary.
My goodness.
That's crazy. Of Caddyshack.
So I was 3 when this came out. Remember when we went to the theater and saw this when we were 3?
Well, when you were 3, I might have been 9 months old.
Yeah, I was going to say you were especially
That's right.
a toddler, youngster. I don't know. And you're 2.
I was 2. Yeah, I
He's
don't
the
remember.
deuce.
I
He
don't
was the
remember
big
anything.
deuce.
No, don't remember anything.
He was short then. He was only 5'10".
Still drinking V8, though.
Still drinking V8. Yeah, they put it in his bottle. He won't drink milk. He just keeps drinking vegetable
I'm
juice.
not like one of them bandwagon fans.
That's
I've
right.
been doing it since
I've been doing it since birth.
birth.
He's a OG, a V8 OG.
I used to carry it around in a little brown paper
Yeah,
bag.
that's right. Yeah, you'd be like, "What's that?" Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
you mind your own business.
That's right.
Keep walking.
Keep walking.
You think he was at the club? Can I get a crown in V8?
Yes.
Actually,
Minus the
Oh,
crown.
that sounds gross.
Put a celery stick in it for me.
Ooh. Yeah, Bloody Mary does
he does
good.
like Bloody
That
Mary.
does sound good. Good Bloody Mary.
All right. So yes, we are doing Caddyshack, 1980, 45 years ago.
That's right.
Let's hit it.
Welcome to the Bushwood Country Club. The membership's exclusive.
You think I'd join this crummy snobatorium?
The help is outrageous.
What?
The madness is contagious.
Bad language, fooling around on the course, poor caddying.
What, this whole place?
Caddyshack, starring Chevy Chase as Ty Webb,
Who is that disgusting man over there?
a sportsman who really knows how to score.
So, what brings you to this nape of the woods, neck of the wave? How come you're here?
Rodney Dangerfield as Al Czervik, a big shot
My dinghy's bigger than your whole boat!
with an even bigger mouth.
Hey, somebody step on a duck?
Ed Knight as Judge Smails, a man of dignity and a sense of fair play.
I've sentenced boys younger than you to the gas chamber.
Michael O'Keefe as Danny Noonan, a caddy who wants an education and gets one.
You take drugs, Danny?
Every day.
Good.
Cindy Morgan as Lacy Underall. She's got a bad reputation, and she's working hard to keep it.
You want to tie me up with some of your ties?
And Bill Murray as Carl Spackler.
Just a harmless squirrel, not a plastic explosive or anything, nothing to be worried about.
He's not crazy about gophers, but he is crazy.
License to kill gophers by the government of the United Nations.
And introducing Mr. Gopher as himself.
You got to
I said freeze, gopher.
Caddyshack. It's all about swinging,
Kiss me, you fool.
but not on the course.
Hey, you want to make $14 the hard way?
Playing a good game
Yes. Oh, he got out of that one.
and talking a better one.
Hey, I should have stayed home and played with myself.
Taking shots
That was a bum shot.
and making time.
We couldn't possibly think less of each other.
Controlling your drives
Wow.
and losing your grip.
It is. You out.
Score.
The man's a menace.
Caddyshack. The comedy with
One, too long. Way too long.
I like the circus type music.
Yeah,
through
that
there.
sounds really interesting. And some of what they're doing, I don't know, it's not even the movie. So they definitely took some edited parts and threw it in the trailer. So, but too long. Like you got a comedy, just get to the point.
Yeah.
How long was that trailer? Did you get a clock on that thing?
I don't have a clock on it.
Oh, okay. It's got to be at least 2 minutes.
It was over 2 minutes. I remember
Okay.
that. Yep.
1:30.
I was going to say about a minute too long almost.
1:30 tops. That's what, particularly for a comedy. That's all you should
It was
be doing.
1980. It was
They didn't know
before-
any better.
Well, it was,
What'd you think of the voiceover guy?
it was all right.
Pretty classic
okay.
sounding. Caddyshack.
It wasn't,
I think they tried to make him sound. I know. I think they tried to make him sound more like upscale, like he was the Grey Poupon guy or something.
Well, because they're on a golf course.
Yeah.
It's high society.
High society.
Yeah.
They're in a country club.
Yeah. Poor caddying. So
I never,
all right,
I never was good enough to be at a country club.
that's okay. You're good enough for us, Rob.
Now you're just in the country.
I'm
Yeah.
just in the-
Feels like you're fishing for comments. So Rob, you're good enough to be with us.
You're good enough. You're
smart
strong
enough.
Gosh
Darn
darn
it. People like you.
People like me.
At least we've heard.
At least my wife,
We've heard.
my wife likes me,
That's good.
I think.
That's a good starting point. So, all right. Well, I might think I know how this is going to turn out, but this week, Kurt was in charge of finding out what old Siskel and Ebert thought
I did.
of Caddyshack back in 1980, and they were young pups back then.
They
They were full of piss and vinegar. So
When did they start?
I'm interested. I don't know,
I don't.
but I'm
That was not
interested
part of
in.
my research.
I didn't look at it at all because I want to be surprised and see if I'm wrong because I think I
I didn't look at
think-
it because
Yeah.
it wasn't my job.
it wasn't his job.
I looked at it because my name was next to it on the script.
I fear I know how it's going to go because them and comedies aren't always best friends. But
All right. What do you think? What do you think Gene said?
the thumb down.
Wrong.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
Nice.
Do you think he said thumbs up? No, they didn't review it.
Oh, dang it.
Gene did not review it
Oh,
either
okay.
on in the print or on at the movies.
Nice.
So they did. The only time they talked about it, they did a special about Bill Murray and just briefly talked about
okay.
Bill Murray in Caddyshack.
Okay.
So Gene, I got nothing for Gene, except for he thought that Bill could just play it straight without the voice and stuff like that, and it would probably would have been just as funny or funnier.
I gotcha.
Okay.
But old Roger had some things to say. So first he goes, the movie never really develops a plot, but maybe it doesn't want to. Director Harold Ramis brings on his cast of characters and just lets them loose on one another. Ramis is cheerfully prepared to interrupt everything for moments of comic inspiration, and there are 3 especially good ones. So the caddies playing in the pool,
Nice.
which has nothing to do with any of the stories. It's
I know.
just
Nope.
them doing a ballet in the pool.
Love it.
We've got the Jaws sequence also in the pool with the duty. And a sequence in which Dangerfield's gigantic speedboat just devastates a yacht,
Nice.
or the yacht club. He also says maybe one of the movie's problems is that the central characters are never really involved in the same action. Murray's off on his own fighting gophers, Dangerfield arrives, devastates, and then exits, and Knight is busy impressing the caddies, making vague promises about scholarships. So they're not all together. But Caddyshack feels more like a movie that was written rather loosely so that the shooting began, there was too much freedom, and they all just wandered off in different directions. So Roger, not real impressed. 2.5 stars.
Okay. I don't like the 2.5 stars, but I will have to say his review is not 100% inaccurate.
That's true. That
Like
is true.
he's right. One of my big things of this movie every time I watch it, I like this. I love this movie a lot, but every time I watch it, my thing is there is no plot.
Yep.
No.
Like if you really think about it, what's the plot? I think it's supposed to be something about Danny
Getting a scholarship.
Getting a scholarship. But then, or is it about Dangerfield joining the country club? Or is it about Ty? Like, I don't.
Yes.
There is no. There is no.
The answer is yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The original script was it's supposed to be all about Danny.
It was about it was all about caddies in general.
It was about the caddies in general.
Danny and a friend or something.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
And then the other guys did so well, it's like, well, crap.
Well, once they started filming Murray and them, they're like, oh, this is, and they were doing the dailies.
Yeah.
Them in the studio were like, well, this is your movie, so they just reshaped it into. Because the original movie was based on the Murrays.
Yeah.
Because Brian Doyle was an actual caddy.
Right.
And they lived across the street from a golf course or something. He's at a public golf course.
Yeah, Bill Murray also was a caddy and worked
Yeah.
as an actual greenskeeper.
Yeah.
Even had a hot dog stand at the
I heard about the hot dog stand. Yeah.
the greens.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole thing was on that to begin with. And then as they started shooting, all these other offshoots happened. So they just kind of went from there. But again, it is multiple plots, I think, converging together. Because Lacy's there, and then some of them I'm like, why are you even in this movie?
Yeah.
Like the one guy that said, I should have been a caddy. Or what did he say? He said, I should have been a something. The real tall guy that walked by him, the other caddy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then and they never really kind of explain.
Or he says, I've often thought of going into the priesthood, or I don't know, something like that.
But like they never really explore Maggie's, like,
No.
why does she talk with a Scottish accent? Where's
Well,
she
she's
from?
Irish.
Yes.
Irish, sorry, yes.
I've got that in my notes.
I was going to say, so do I.
Why is she Irish?
I know, just kind of out of nowhere.
You threw in the letter, it said something about a student exchange, but
I had read that.
Yeah.
I didn't see that anywhere.
That was this.
Oh.
I read that.
That was one of the 3 hours they cut out of the
It
movie.
doesn't. So the original cut, she had more stuff.
Yeah, that she was.
And then they chop it up.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
So we can discuss that
There's
later.
a lot of drugs involved in this movie.
But I will say, on this one, his review is not totally inaccurate.
That is true.
I still think it's better than 2.5 stars, but especially if you're going to cite multiple funny bits. But it's Raj. What are you going to do? So at least he took the time to review it, unlike Gene,
That's right,
who
Gene.
couldn't be bothered.
That's right.
To look at Caddyshack. I'm not watching that.
It was.
It's 1980. What's he watching? You get. They split it up. You get Caddyshack. I'll go take care of Urban Cowboy. There you go.
There you go.
I'll take Travolta. You got Noonan.
Noonan.
So
Private Benjamin.
All right. So why? We've talked about it just for a quick second here. Despite the lack of no plot, this movie's considered a classic by all measurements and lists you look at, and just reading about it through all of the periodicals that I take in on a weekly basis. It is considered a classic. So why do you think it's considered a classic?
I think it's because the three funny guys were all at their height. We got Bill Murray, Chevy Chase, and Rodney Dangerfield, all at their height of funniness right in there.
No, I completely agree.
Completely agree.
Because I found an article, and it was, I'm going to reference that later, but it's an article called It's in the Hole, 7 Things Millennials Don't Understand About Caddyshack.
Yeah.
And he goes down to say 7 things, and one of them, many of them, they talk about how Chevy Chase was
he's the guy.
He was the it comic at the time, and then you had Rodney Dangerfield. He was coming off of his, he was the first what they call him hipster comic or something. Yeah. So it was jugs were cool then. It was
quite cool.
Right?
Quite cool.
It was coming off the Saturday Night Live thing. There's
that also helped because Murray and Chase are Saturday Night Livers, and that's real popular. So and as we found in our research, obviously Animal House was so popular.
Yes.
Yep.
And then you're kind of assembling a group like that again. So people had high expectations. So, but just from a comedy movie standpoint and a sports movie, it's highly regarded. So AFI's 100 Years, 100 Laughs has it at number 71. AFI, though, as I looked at it, seems to favor older films more than like newer films. Some Like It Hot was the number 1.
Oh, sure.
Funniest movie on their list.
It's hilarious.
I mean, it's good, but I'm not.
like it.
Tootsie was at number 2.
Never seen it.
Dr. Strangelove.
Something Like It Hot?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Dr. Strangelove was at number 3. So, and then a lot of older films. It had When Harry Met Sally was above Caddyshack, and in my opinion, Caddyshack's a funnier movie.
Oh yes.
Than When Harry Met Sally. I mean, there's funny parts in When Harry, but it's not funny the whole time. So, but I'm not paid to make these lists, and critically evaluate movies.
Unless
so
somebody wants to pay you to do it.
no one cares. Yes. Campbell's
But
Company.
if they-
Campbell's
They do.
Company.
Yes.
Pay him for it.
Pay me
But
for
if
it.
they offered.
They offered. I'm there in a heartbeat. So, also AFI's 100 Years, 100 Movie Quotes. At number 92 is the Bill Murray quote about winning the Masters.
Oh, yeah. I
So
saw that
that's
on a lot of
considered one of the thing. And then AFI's top 10 sports movies, 10 top 10 sports films. It was at number 7. This is another interesting AFI list. Again, favoring older films. Raging Bull was number 1.
Uh-huh.
Jerry Maguire was at 10. That Jerry Maguire made the top 10 sports movies of all time. So, and Bravo had Caddyshack at number 2 on its list of the 100 funniest movies getting beat out at number 1 by the aforementioned Animal House. So
I did not know that.
it's in rarefied air.
Yeah.
But I would say what you mentioned a few minutes ago is if you showed this to like children of your kids' age right now, I don't know they'd laugh as much. But we'll discuss that as we go down memory lane.
Ooh, the lane.
So maybe the jokes we think are funny, they wouldn't think are funny. Some of the one-liners that Dangerfield throws out might not land on kids of this generation.
They might be a little shocked.
Well, like that joke.
A little appalled.
Yeah, like the joke about, oh, you must have been something before electricity. Yeah, I find that hilarious. But a
Last
kid,
time I saw a mouth
younger
like
age.
that, I had a hook in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's so stupid. He's just doing
He's just doing his bit.
He's just doing his bit.
Yeah,
so.
even one time he even says, he goes, I don't get no respect. He drops it in the movie.
That's right.
I mean, you have to. It's a catchphrase. What are you going to do? Or he said, what's that thing where he goes, we're not even in the quote yet. He goes, you buy a hat like this, you get a free bowl of soup.
Bowl of soup.
Campbell's soup.
Campbell's
Well,
soup.
there you go.
It all comes back to soup, Rob.
Hey,
It's
look-
going to be our
and
soup
there we
episode.
go.
That's right.
For those of you on the video.
Yeah.
VA.
It's good.
Campbell's,
Put that-
we're not
put that
just
on it.
soup.
What's the jingle?
Campbell's, we're not just soup.
Goodness. Wow. Can you put? I want that framed on a t-shirt.
T-shirt.
now.
Campbell's.
You and V8 with on the back.
We're not just
We're not just soup. Yeah.
I love it.
You may have heard different. So, well, yeah, I think the comedy stallions that they were converging at the same time made it perfect.
Yeah.
And then they just wrote some great like catchphrases and quotes, and I think they've just lived on in the lexicon, if you will, Rob.
Ooh.
Oh, that's good.
I
Got a
see.
vocabulary
The big
today.
words again.
Yeah.
No, and I thought I do think that like Chevy Chase's delivery and his just kind of freestyle. Super funny.
Well,
And
yeah,
the way he
it's
delivers
his
it
dry
is
humor,
really good, and
sarcasm.
I think he was doing it before it was cool, and we have a lot of people that do it now. I think, and
because of him.
Because of him. Yeah, I think he influenced a lot of younger.
He did.
people.
If he wasn't such a big jerk, people would speak more kindly about it.
But yeah, that came up over and over again.
Yep, it did. Nothing you could do about
No.
it. So, well, you got anything else about the classic nature of this movie
I do
before we
not.
dive in?
Nope.
I like it. Short and to the point this week.
That's right.
right.
He's been holding it in for a month, and he's like, nope,
Nope.
I'm good. That's right.
Can't peak
So,
too soon. Got a whole year to go through.
That's right. So, are you going to like this, Rob?
Oh, okay.
Well, it's easy to grin as our ship has come in and we've got the stock market beat. But the podcast worthwhile is the pod who can smile when its shorts aren't too tight in the seat. Okay, Pookie, let's tee off with Caddyshack.
So let's dance.
I'm so happy that song's in the movie. That might be my favorite Journey song. So,
Really?
It might be. Yeah, I love it. It's got a good. It's
thought-
upbeat. It's got a good.
It's got a beat.
I figured
Dance
you'd
thing
be
to it?
an open arms guy.
Oh, I like Open Arms.
It's good.
And we're not pushing that down or anything. It's just I like this. Two different songs. So
Yes, they
yeah.
are.
Well, before we begin our stroll down memory lane, the Movie Hound is going to share with us the important details of the movie. He's taken the last month to compile all the important info.
That's right.
And he's going to share it with you today.
He's had a whole month of
A whole month of compiling it. I started about 10 o'clock last night. All right.
We're nothing but in the details, folks.
All right. So as we said, Caddyshack was released about 45 years ago on July 25th, 1980, and is an American sports comedy film directed by Harold Ramis, written by Brian Doyle Murray, Ramis, and Douglas Kenney, and starring Chevy Chase, Rodney Dangerfield, Ted Knight in his final film role, Michael O'Keefe, and Bill Murray, with supporting roles by Sarah Holcomb, Cindy Morgan, and Brian Doyle Murphy himself. The film was made on a budget of about $5 to $6 million, and it brought in about $60 million at the box office. Rotten Tomatoes gives the movie a critics' tomato meter score of 73% and an audience popcorn meter score of 87%. Now, Rob, as David tries to figure out if tonight he's going skinny skiing or go to a bullfight on acid, can you please tell us a little about this movie by doing a segment we call...
Big giant words at the top of the box says, tee off with a foursome of the screen's funniest clowns. The greenskeeper is about to start World War III against a gopher. The judge plays to win, but his nubile niece has her mind set on scoring her own way. The playboy shoots perfect golf by pretending he is the ball. And the country club, Loudmouth, just doubled a $20,000 bet on a 10-foot putt. Insanity? No. Caddyshack.
No.
Chevy Chase, Rodney Dangerfield, Ted Knight, and Bill Murray tee off for a side-splitting round of fairway foolishness that does for golf what Animal House did for college fraternities and Police Academy did for law enforcement. Chase's laid-back delivery has kept audiences of Saturday Night Live and movie hits National Lampoon's Vacation, Fletch, and Spies Like Us in the aisles for years. Sharing his wisdom with a caddy or his bed with debutante Lacy Underall, he never misses a shot. Rodney Dangerfield is, well, Rodney Dangerfield. Even when he's off camera, he's on. And fans that have made easy money and back-to-school box office hits like him just fine. Knight, professor of the best slow burns since Laurel and Hardy, fuses fumes and finesses his way through his role as Bushwood Country Club's one-man legion of decency. Murray's hole-in-the-head assistant greenskeeper is straight out of Looney Tunes. Murray, who brought the house down in Meatballs, Stripes, and Ghostbusters, is funny even when he talks to himself. In Caddyshack, the term golf nut takes on a deranged double meaning, and the laughs are par for the course. No runtime listed.
No runtime. No. So I don't know when they started doing VHS tapes.
Yeah.
But I'm going to assume it was after 1980 because otherwise they're predicting movies from the future when he was in Ghostbusters and all those other types of movies. Yeah. Chevy Chase was in National Lampoon's Vacation, which didn't happen until 1983.
Fletch and Spies Like Us. Yeah.
So that must have come out with this afterwards. Yeah. So and it's been a month and you were doing great. You were doing really great.
What did I say?
You said Brian Doyle Murphy. So he's not
Murray.
Irish. Not Irish.
He is not a Murphy.
He's not Irish.
He's not Irish.
Sorry, we were watching The Town before this.
We were. So he just sounds like a Murphy.
That's right.
Murphy.
He's a Murphy.
You're saying it weird, but that's fine.
Right. You sounded like
that wasn't. Yeah, that wasn't a Boston. That wasn't a Boston.
I'm at the country club.
It's been a month. It's been a month.
Park the car. Okay. So at the club. So all right.
With the smart kids.
Well, before always with the smart kids down at Harvard Yard.
Harvard Yard with the smart kids.
All right, so let's dive into some other info about the movie. First of all, the casting choices. We talked about how fantastic the cast turned out to be.
Yes.
You got Chevy Chase, you got Bill Murray, Rodney Dangerfield, Ted Knight, who was a very wonderful comic at the time, that dry humor comic. You said this was his last movie.
Yep.
But he did move on after this to the critically acclaimed sitcom Too Close for Comfort with one Jim J. Bullock.
Jim J.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
That's a powerhouse.
Center Square.
Good.
Jim J. Bullock.
That's right. You don't just get into Center Square, first of all.
Coked up and gay.
Oh, he's fine. He was not. You think everyone's coked up and gay in the 80s, Rob.
They were just having a good time.
Just your belief. Right. Richard Gere, coked up and gay. Rod Stewart, coked up and gay. I think that's an urban myth, Rob. But that's fine. It's okay.
Never stopped him from trying it.
But
don't forget the plastic sheets in the gerbil.
The studio, when they first wrote the movie, they wrote the movie, and the studio demanded a big star, or they wouldn't greenlight the movie. So the role of Ty Webb was written specifically for Chevy Chase. So we started with Chevy Chase, and then they kind of built out everything from there.
That's right.
Dangerfield had a crazy audition, right? Why don't you tell us about his crazy audition?
I read that he walks in takes out some Coke, basically undoes his pants, does 3 lines of Coke, and says, "Let's eat."
That's right.
And they gave him the job.
Fantastic.
Undid his pants, said, "Let's eat." And the casting director was like, "This is my kind of guy."
This is my kind of guy.
I heard it was 4 lines of Coke, but 3 or 4.
All right.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. But the guy said they interviewed the casting director. He said he lined him up on his desk in front of him, snorted it up, and then said, "Let's eat."
Well, I heard that he pulls out a Coke grinder that was on like necklaces back
Correct.
then. Grinds them up, lines them up, snorts it.
Perfect.
Fantastic.
This guy's like,
Not
"This
bad for a
is-
60-year-old at the time.
This is it right here. This is the guy doing it for us. So
in his
That's a
lovely
wrap.
leisure suit that he came in.
All before lunch.
That's right.
I had it.
so
The only thing I had was that Don Wrinkles was originally.
wrinkles?
What did I say?
Wrinkles?
Did I say wrinkles?
Yes, it's Rickles.
That's his statement.
See? Words are hard.
Words are hard. Rickles.
It says right here, Don Rickles.
Doesn't say wrinkles.
It says Rickles.
He's throwing in extra consonants. It's
What is going on? You've been good for several weeks. You get him back in the studio.
That's right.
You
You're
can't
welcome.
read.
I relax when
You
he's in there.
call someone Timmy. It's just all
It's all
downhill.
right.
All right. So what
Mr.
did
Betsy.
Mr. Wrinkles have to say?
He was originally considered for the part.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
He was the only one that I found.
Like if you weren't going to get Dangerfield, he would make because
Yeah,
he's
he
kind of a loudmouth.
Yeah, he was the only one I found
Obscene.
for.
I couldn't find anything.
Oh.
I got
other choices.
I got for Mickey Rourke and for Danny Noonan.
Yeah, I saw that too.
But they figured he wasn't going to be funny enough.
No.
Yeah, no comedy there.
No.
He's a serious guy.
yeah.
I got, let's see here, who else did I have? Bo Derek for Lacy.
Oh, I didn't see that
Underall.
one.
I could see that.
That's
That,
okay.
that was one of the producers wanted her, but they squashed that idea.
I like Cindy Morgan.
Yep.
Like you're not upsetting me with that choice. So.
I also had Michelle Pfeiffer, but she turned it down because she didn't want to do the nudity.
Oh,
Neither did the other gal.
Neither did the other gal.
Yeah.
But,
Did it anyway.
But she did
but
it.
Michelle Pfeiffer had a little more pull in the business back then.
Did you read
than-
where they to
Well,
make
she's coming off Scarface.
Yeah.
to make her more comfortable? He had everybody
Everybody
take their
take
shirt
off
off.
their- yep.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay.
that works.
You got
And
a
they
room
put up
full
a-
of guys with no shirts on.
Well, and only the people that had to be there took off their shirts.
Yeah.
And then they put up blankets so nobody could see her.
Because the other cast, the young caddy guys were like, we were all there that day. Yep. Then they're like, you guys got to get out of here.
Well, they also had to kick out the Playboy
Oh yeah, that's a great
photographer
story.
because the producer basically first forced her into and made her cry, saying she'd never work again
Yes.
if she didn't take her top off. And then he said, "Oh, and by the way, we're also going to have a Playboy photographer come film it."
Yeah.
And
So he
Ramis
was
is like, "No, get out."
Yeah. So he was the producer. It's just an interesting story. So the producer was friends with someone at Playboy.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about how they were going to promote this
The movie,
movie.
yeah.
So he's like, well, my friend's in town. She's already going to have her top off. So we'll take those pictures too. And then we can do a spread in Playboy. So for publicity, plus we coincide with the movie. So in his head, he's like, this is great.
Yeah.
And like he said, then when she said no, he started threatening her that you'll never get another job. You'll never get this, that. And then, Ramis like had to really go to the mat and be like, no, this isn't happening.
interesting.
And they chased the guy off. But it's
And the
kind of
guy
an
was
ambush.
Barbara Streisand's boyfriend at the time.
Ooh.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
Barbara, can you hear me?
Nope.
I think that's from
Please
Yentl.
take off your top.
Take off your shirt.
I don't think that's how.
I would need some New York boobs.
We are
I
here
was
for
going to say he's got a
Playboy.
nice set of New York boobs.
I think they are New York
80s
boobs in this
New
one
York
too.
She didn't want to show them,
Yeah,
She did.
but she seemed comfortable.
it worked
I know,
out.
She didn't
When
seem
it came
uncomfortable.
around, yeah.
But then later in the other interviews, she was like, "But I'm fine with it now." Or
Yeah.
what? Actually, she had said she really wasn't against the nudity as long as it served a purpose for the movie.
Yeah.
It's just at first when everybody started kind of hound dogging about it, then she was like,
I'm surprised that she's not more upset just about the character in general.
character's great. What are you talking about?
We'll talk about that.
She's having a good time.
She's had a good time.
Having a good time. Superstar. Anyway, I think she's great. So,
Okay.
all right. Well, any other casting scenarios? There wasn't a lot. I couldn't find a lot else.
No, those were the ones I had.
Bill Murray, they only had him for 2 days
Yeah.
for the set.
6 days.
Oh, 6 days.
He,
My bad.
he did all of his parts in like 6
6 days. Yeah. So, and they weren't sure if he was going to show up. Which, by the way, any Bill Murray movie we've covered, that seems to be a running thing. Like, is Bill going to be here today?
That's right.
And they're like, Harold, is Bill going to be here? You go, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where they had no idea what the 6 days were.
Yeah,
It was
they
just
didn't know.
when they showed up. All right, go.
Got 6 days. So, yeah, they had to rearrange shooting and do all kinds of stuff. So
I did read that they secretly told some of the producers, "All right, we need 10 of the top directors on a list that we can call just in case Ramis screws this up."
Yeah.
Well, this was his directorial debut.
Right.
Yep.
and the studio was a little nervous about it. So yeah, when
Which
they were
they had
doing
every
the
right
dailies,
to be.
they did, because if you heard about the after hours stuff,
Oh, yeah.
Ramis had no control. So it's impressive to me they even got things shot during the day.
Yeah.
Because can you imagine an after hours hotel party with Dangerfield and Chevy Chase in 1980?
Yes, they
and
all
then
lived
all these kids
in the hotel at the golf course.
Oh,
I found a quote by Michael O'Keefe. It said, "Cocaine was driving everyone."
oh, yeah.
That was the set.
That's insane. I mean, it's just insane. I mean, if you think about, you got a whole young cast and you throw these two godlike creatures like Chase and Dangerfield in there. So the only one though that did not partake, Mr. Ted Knight, and was actually quite irritated because people would
he
be.
was a serious actor.
He was a serious actor, acting, and people would be late to shoots.
Yep.
People's lines they didn't
even though
get
they
the first
only
time.
had to roll out of bed and walk across the street.
Still late.
He goes, and then Michael O'Keefe added later, he goes, it would be lunch and someone would say, "Do you want to do a line?" Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
it was no big deal. It was the 70s.
Well, was it 19? Well, 79.
79
I
when
guess
they
they
filmed
did.
it, yeah.
So
You want to do a line?
it's so odd how they talk about it now, like it's just that casual.
Yeah.
But then us as children of the 80s growing up, all we heard about was just say no to drugs and how bad cocaine was.
Thanks, Nancy.
Well,
And
the
then-
fact that
yeah.
Dangerfield is wearing an apparatus around
Yes.
his neck
Yeah.
for the purpose of crushing up, grinding up
Yeah.
cocaine.
But then when they tell me all this just say no stuff as a kid and tell me the horrors, I go back and watch these movies and I'm like, you're lying to me.
You're lying. They had so much fun. What happened?
And they're all still alive. It's not like it had any like bad effects on them or anything. They seem to be fine. So, let's see. The movie was greenlit by the studio because of the success of Animal House. I think I mentioned that. Based on the Murray family, as you said.
Yep.
Murray's part of the beginning. So at the beginning, in the house, there's all those kids.
Yeah.
I counted 14 kids.
Well, some of them was a nephew, at least the one at the breakfast.
That's what they're saying.
But that was because the Murrays, or as I said earlier, the Murphys.
Yes,
they
the
had
Murphys.
9 kids in their house.
6 brothers, 3 sisters.
Yep.
So the Noonan household was supposed to reflect the Murray household. So that's a lot of kids, by the way. 9, and then they had 14. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. So, let's see. Most of everything Bill Murray did was improvised.
Oh yes.
So the flower scene out front when he was just supposed to like stand there or something.
Yeah, they gave him like 4 lines of direction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ramis just said, "Have you ever imagined yourself like doing your own announcing as you did something great in sports?" He said, "Say no more."
Got it.
Got it.
And then that whole thing was just they got it like first take, and he was just like, okay.
It's a no.
And they said
It's
the first Harold Ramis said the first time he hit one of the flowers, they were like, "Yep, that's it. Just keep rolling. That's all we got. That's all we need." That's the whole movie right there.
Yeah.
So, Cinderella story. Oh, so good. We'll talk about that later. The scene between Chase and Murray. So they only have one scene together.
Yeah.
Well, take us through that, Rob.
Well, they let's see. Chevy Chase's character hits the Ty.
Yes.
He's doing some late night golfing. He hits the ball into
Carl's
house,
shack.
his shack,
His
where
room.
his apartment.
Yeah.
And they have a great little interaction.
Yeah.
They do a little toke. They do some drinking. They
Oh, yeah.
make up. They shake. They
Did you see why they?
But the
why
interesting part,
the
yes.
scene is
well,
in
they
the
were
movie?
they were feuding. There was a feud.
There was.
There's a famous feud.
There was some fisticuffs,
Yeah.
but
Fisticuffs.
backstage
Back
at
on
Saturday Night
Saturday Night.
Live.
Well, they were worried
So-
about filming the scene because of their prior. They actually hit each other.
Right.
Yeah.
But the studio demanded that those two have a scene together. They said we can't have a movie with Bill
With
Murray
these two and- yeah.
Chevy Chase in it and not have them in a scene together. So they demanded it, and it was literally on. He had his 6 days. It was his last day,
Yep.
and Ramis just threw this scene together.
Yeah, they had
and-
lunch together and like,
Yeah.
all right, go.
Yep. And they were worried that they weren't going to be able to pull the scene off or how many takes it was going to do. But Ramis said they were professional. They said they knocked it out in 1 take, and then they didn't talk to each other again. So it was great. It
was perfect.
So, oh, yeah.
Yep.
No, I
do
like
that.
that part a lot.
Oh, yeah. It's really good.
I like where he goes. You want to sit down? No, I don't want to stick to anything.
Yeah. Yeah. He makes a lot of good comments in that scene. Gopher was added after principal shooting had been conducted.
They put
Gopher
the
wasn't even part of the thing.
Yeah, they decided they needed something that connected all of the wayward stories, and the gopher was the thing that connected.
I read
them.
that the noises he makes are actually a dolphin.
Yep.
From the 1960s TV show?
Flipper.
Boom.
Hey,
at
look,
you,
we all
Rob.
did research.
Oh, we're on fire today.
Wow.
They did actually blow up the golf course
Well, they blew up the fake golf green mound that
Correct.
But they used
built.
too much explosives.
Yes, they
went a
did
little
use too
heavy.
much.
And so a plane landing at an airport nearby recorded it as a crash that when they saw the fireball.
I think that's awesome. They have an FAA report by a pilot saying that a plane crashed on a golf course.
Yes. I like how they got them to do that. They set up a party dinner for the people that own the golf course to get them out of there because they originally said, no, you can't blow anything
Can't blow it
up.
up.
So they just got them away from the golf course and blew it up while they weren't there.
That's so awesome. I can't believe that happened. So the iconic song "I'm All Right" by Kenny Loggins. Ramus, though, not that Kenny Loggins, not his first choice. He called Pink Floyd.
I saw that.
And
He
called
goes,
Pink Floyd.
Let's call Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd, and he was like, "No." Like he said, "Well, explain the movie to me." And he said he got a couple words in, and Pink Floyd's like, "We're gonna pass."
That's a different movie.
Well, it doesn't make any sense.
Pink Floyd is
like if it doesn't
depressing.
if it doesn't have could you imagine that? I'm all right. Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, no.
It wouldn't make any sense.
No.
If you don't have the cheesy Kenny Loggins,
That's right.
As a loggy, I can say it's a little
As
cheesy.
a loggy.
But the cheesy Kenny Loggins song, it doesn't make any sense. So.
I was watching an interview with Kenny Loggins. He goes, and now I sell gophers at my concerts.
He does. He's all about that money, man.
That's right.
Just like Bone Thugs.
It's his
Just
most
like Bone
popular
Thugs.
request at concerts.
I think that was the first time Loggy's been compared to Bone Thugs and
First of all, Loggy and Bone Thugs have more in common than we give
hung
them
out
credit
together.
for. That's right.
They would meet at Eazy-E's
That
house.
is correct. And invite Peebo.
That's right.
Could you imagine?
gosh.
Could you imagine? Eazy-E, you got the Bone Thugs. Kenny shows up, and Michael McDonald's there too. Hey, fellas.
Wow.
It's the first of the month.
That's right.
That's probably where the origins of all the remixing of all the remixing of Michael McDonald with rap groups probably spawned in those late night sessions with Kenny Loggins.
That's
so
right.
That's great. So
All right, going back to old Sarah Holcomb, who played Maggie O'Hooligan.
yeah.
We got to go back to her.
Do a little deep dive on that.
The reason why she was Irish is going back to Murray and the history of it. It was because when they worked at the golf courses, all the girls that worked there came over on Irish work visas.
Oh.
So that was just a little.
But she's
they never
the
explained
only
it, but
one.
She is the only one.
No one else.
But they never really talked to any of the other waitresses or anything else that are working there. It's just her.
Well, and she didn't even have to audition. She was in Animal House.
Animal House, yes.
She was the
mayor's young daughter or
15-year-old daughter. And so as soon as they were going to make the movie and had this part, Harold's like, oh, she's perfect. I want to bring her in. Got to have her.
Yeah.
So I saw, this is an interesting thing. There's a Murray Brothers Caddyshack in Florida. It's a restaurant.
Two of them now, yeah.
Oh, maybe. It's a restaurant that all six brothers opened, and they said it makes you feel like you're right in the movie.
That's right.
So that's good. So way to profit off it. The Murrays need more money.
Yeah.
they definitely need to diversify their portfolio.
Well, the other brothers, the three other brothers need a little more. The four other brothers. Yeah.
Bill gets them in movies. They got stuff.
One of them was one of the caddies.
Oh, yeah.
I saw.
He was doing a good job. So
I did also see the reason why they kept bringing up the working at the lumber company is because the Murray's dad had the lumber company, J.J. Barney Lumber Company.
He was a lumberman.
Back to Maggie.
Back
Did
to
you see
Maggie.
that the lady
Maggie.
that played her.
She
that's
had
a sad
some
story.
issues. Yes.
Oh.
She had some mental issues.
You always
and
dig
stuff.
up the sad stuff.
I
Rob.
didn't want
find
to.
it
I
interesting.
found it. I just didn't bring it up.
Is this in memoriam?
No,
she's alive.
Oh, okay.
She just had some mental issues for a time and had to drop. That's why she wasn't in any more movies.
You know, there's
And it
80s.
kind of started in this movie. It said she was acting kind of strange on set. but
Okay.
it was the Irish brogue accent that got her.
I don't
Yeah.
know. But
It broke her.
It broke.
She's living in seclusion now.
Okay. She's like, was that Nell? What's that Jodie Foster movie where she can't talk?
Oh boy.
Anyway.
Wow.
Wow, cut that.
No.
Yikes.
Cut it out.
Seriously.
I like that. Yikes.
Okay. You've seen Nell, right? That's what happens in the movie.
I don't think
you
I'll
should see
take
Nell.
your word for it.
It's great.
No.
She can't talk. She makes up like her own language.
No.
It's insane.
Sounds
All right.
great.
All right, there was
Sounds
there was a hurricane right before shooting began, so the whole cast and crew had to hunker down at the hotel and wait it out, and all they did was drink and do drugs.
That's
right. For like 2 days.
They got chips, dip, and alcohol.
Alcohol.
And that's what they.
That
That's what
is
they did.
Correct.
The opening line of the film is "All right, kids, rise and shine." which is also in, and there's also watch out for that. Your first step is a doozy.
That is correct.
Both lines are in Groundhog Day.
Ooh.
Yes. Also a Harold Ramis movie.
Good throwbacks.
Yeah, there you go. And we have a great episode on Groundhog Day.
We do.
You do.
So you should
Episode
check it out.
number 5, I believe. Yeah.
It's one of our early ones.
Groundhog Day is coming up here in a few days.
Yeah. You might
so
wanna
it might be the
revisit
perfect time.
Yeah.
So, what we said earlier, Dangerfield's first film, he didn't. Harold Ramis said he didn't know what action meant, so he would ask,
He said, do I do my bit?
Do you want me to do my bit? And they'd be like, yeah, go. And he would say, okay. And then he said he would get paranoid talking to the other actors because nobody was laughing. But then the other actors had to, reassure him. They're like, you're doing great, but if we start laughing, it's going to ruin the take. And he's like, no one's laughing at me, So he was getting upset. No respect. Or Dangerfield's coming out.
That's right. Now Dangerfield's coming out.
Okay, drum roll. we're doing dueling Dangerfields.
No.
Oh, I get no
respect. Someone step on a duck.
Oh crap!
I'll make $14 a hard way. What's his friend called? The Japanese friend?
Wang.
Wang?
Oh yeah, Wang.
Hey Wang, get everything you need. Hook him up with 2.
Hey Wang, don't take pictures. It's just a parking lot.
You get a bowl of soup.
All right, dueling Dangerfields. We're here all day, folks. That's right.
Not.
So, I think you mentioned it a while ago. The line, hey, everybody, we're all going to get laid, was improvised by Dangerfield. And Raymond said to this day, it makes no sense. He said, I can't believe we left it in the movie. And I can't believe when they previewed it, they said we could keep it in the movie.
It's just an odd shot. Just all of a sudden, boom, he's just there by himself, standing in front of everybody.
So, and then I really found this interesting. Bill Murray said he didn't think much about Caddyshack for a long time. Like he's like, you don't think it's like this like thing that means things to people. He goes, it's a silly movie. But he said one time Stevie Nicks told him, I was having a really hard time once, and I watched Caddyshack for like a week straight, and it just cheered me up so much, and it helped me in my life. And she gave him a hug. And so Bill Murray, I saw that on an interview on the YouTube, and he was all proud of it. So he goes, after that, he was like, oh, this really touches people.
It means something. All right.
Now, knowing Stevie Nicks' past in the 80s, she probably didn't know what she was watching.
She really wasn't even watching Caddyshack.
That's right.
She was watching Nell.
That's right. Well, Nell wasn't out yet. I was going to say she was watching like the Beastmaster or something. And she's like, this is a great golf movie.
Beastmaster.
Coming soon.
Coming soon. That's right.
So, all right. You got any other interesting facts, Rob? You are the king of interesting facts. That's a good start.
The sound that Chevy Chase makes when he's doing the
yeah.
That's a homage to the $6 Million Man.
Homage.
Right.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah. Chevy Chase probably thinks he's a $6 million man.
The scene where he's holding the pitchfork to the guy's neck, that was all improvised.
Yeah,
and,
he was.
And the guy was actually scared.
The kid even said, "Hey, can you back it up a little bit?"
Yeah, he said he was paranoid. The first thing he got was one of those
giant,
the Grim Reaper things.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Absolutely not." So
it down.
the actor said no, and then he said, "Pitchfork, okay, we can deal with pitchfork." But if you watch the movie, it's poking.
It's closer and closer. Like
what's this? The Adam's apple. What's the official term? As our health director.
I don't do health anymore.
The little thing.
Joey's apple? I don't know.
Adam's apple?
It's called an Adam's apple.
Oh, okay. The Joey's apple.
Joey's apple.
Or the Rob's apple.
Each individual.
It's named after each person. The David's apple.
Yeah, that's good.
That's right. So, all right. Well, since we have no more interesting facts, and now we're talking about Adam's apples or Joey apples or whatever. Yeah. Well, does anybody else have any other interesting facts to share with the group?
I don't. I think I've used up all my research.
That's good. Rob, any more research?
I'm spent.
Spent. Ooh. And I'm spent.
And it's messy over there.
It ain't no fun if he ain't spent.
That's right.
So, all right. Well,
Mitch Cumstein.
Then we want to jump into the categories. Let's go. All right.
I think that would be the next logical step.
I know. I'm giving you the option here, Rob.
All right.
Sometimes he says, I don't feel like you ask me enough questions. So here's a question.
But he's spent.
Yeah, but he's spent. He's out of V8.
I'm out of
ready
V8.
to go. So,
all
right.
We got to get this done then.
So that takes us to our first category. Our favorite quote from the movie. And since it's been so long since he's been here, we're going to let Kurt lead us off with his favorite quotes from the movie.
All right. I'm going to go with one we've already heard because it was in the trailer. But it was when old Ty and Danny were talking, walking down the hill early in the thing, in the movie. You take drugs, Danny? Every day. Good.
Hey, Mr. Webb, can I ask you something?
Sure thing. Shoot, Timmy.
Danny.
Danny.
When you were my age, did you ever have trouble deciding what you wanted to do with your life?
No, I never had that problem, really. Why?
Forget it. I didn't think you'd understand.
You take drugs, Danny?
Every day.
Good. So what's the problem?
I don't know. Did you have to take that cootie?
I just find that
And the
hilarious.
delivery.
Oh,
of
it's
that
great.
Yeah,
too,
the
too.
deadpan
Yeah,
delivery. Most of that walk down the hill, and I was listening, and they were like, "Yeah, all they did was they put the camera at the bottom of the hill, and they basically said, okay, go. You just have to make it to the end by the time you get to the bottom of the hill." So they just basically improv the whole way there.
Yeah, so good.
So it's
Love
good.
it.
Yeah.
Perfect. What do you got, Rob?
It's not a huge scene in the movie, but I found myself laughing the hardest at it. It's right after the party scene
Okay.
where Spaulding pukes into the car and the doctor sits in it.
Yeah.
And
then
slips.
and then it cuts back to the green, and it's Carl, and he says,
Wait up, girls. I got a salami I gotta hide still.
Carl! I told you, today is the day we change the holes. To do it now with no more slacking off.
Slack you off, you fussy little foreigner. I'll fill your bagpipes with Tina. Oh, man in the boat overboard. Oh, you beast. You savage. Come on, bark like a dog for me. Bark like a dog. I will teach you the meaning of the word respect.
Bark
that
like
whole-
a dog.
That whole scene, I'll slack you up, you fuzzy little foreigner. I don't
that's
know why I
good.
found that funny. I laughed hard.
Well, this movie is a quote fest.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really difficult to nail down, I would say, any of the best. I mean, there's ones everywhere. You could just do all Bill Murray quotes, or you could do. But the one that I find myself laughing at a lot, so Judge Smails, they're in the locker room, and he tells Ty, if he's the champ, he'll prove it. He's going to have to beat him. And he goes,
Ty, what did you shoot today?
Oh, I don't keep score, Judge.
Oh, well, how do you measure yourself with other golfers?
By height.
You know, you should play with Dr. Beeper and myself. I mean, he's been club champion for 3 years running, and I'm no slouch myself.
Don't sell yourself short, Judge. You're a tremendous slouch.
so I really like that. Like the dry thing. It's kind of like that quote he does later where he's talking. He goes, "I don't know what's wrong. I'm having a terrible day." And he goes, "You're not good.
You stink.
You stink." Yeah.
The-
I like when he goes, "Oh, my arm is broken." And then the doctor walks over and touches it. He goes, "Well, there could be a fracture."
A fractured
He's a terrible
ulna.
doctor.
He goes, it could be a fractured ulna.
He's a bad doctor.
I like the doctor when he's on the phone.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, yeah, just stick a tube down her nose,
Yeah.
and I'll be there in 4 or 5 hours.
4 or 5 hours. He goes, "I got lots of time."
One of the first quotes I had on my list is just one word, is Noonan.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, even when we'd go golfing, that's what we'd go, Noonan, Noonan, just to mess people up. You know.
This is almost like the "You're not good" when he's in Carl's place and he says, "Is this your place, Carl?" He says, "Yeah, what do you think?" He goes, "It's really it's awful."
It's really awful.
Like the delivery is really good. So
even that whole, it's too much to say, but the whole story that Carl says about the Dalai Lama.
Oh yeah, of course,
Even-
that
even
whole
on-
scene.
even on
So I got that going for me.
Yeah, that whole, and that was, I found
That's
that on a
pretty good.
list that I got that going for me, which is nice.
Okay.
Yeah,
But that's on a bunch of lists of top quotes ever.
top quotes ever.
But even when I'm watching TV or something, they talk about the Dalai Lama.
Well, I
go,
just
the
love-
Dalai Lama.
Yeah, I just love when he goes, "Hey, Lama, how about a little something, for the effort?"
That's right. A little something for the effort.
10,000-foot glacier.
When you die, big hitter, Lama.
The Lama.
The
The Lama. So,
Gunga, Gunga.
last one I put, I got, Danny tells Judge Smails he wants to be a lawyer, but my parents can't afford college. And the judge goes, "Yeah, well, the world needs ditch diggers too."
Yeah, that's good.
And then Lacy comes up and goes, "Good try."
And
So
there was one early. I don't know why I find this funny. It's when he's talking to his dad early on, and he's like, "Oh, I had a couple of burgers, I had a couple of Cokes. How many Cokes? 4 or 5. What are you, a diabetic? I don't know." And then he just walks out the door.
well, and when we saw that how to or the making of,
Yeah.
we saw that on, was it Netflix?
It was on
or,
Amazon.
It was on Amazon. Well, the one actor who plays I forget his name. He's the basically Italian caddy.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah. So he says
D'Annunzio or whatever.
Yeah, D'Annunzio. He says to this day, people come up to him and go, I ain't paying 50 cents for no Coke. Then you don't get no Coke. So, yeah. So I think that's a good quote, but he says people still to this day, so people seem to like it a lot. But all right, well, that takes us to category 2, our favorite scene in the movie. We'll start with you, Rob.
The scene at the end where Carl basically loses his mind. He's in his shack and he's got his little
clay dolls,
his little plastic explosive woodland creatures.
Yes,
and it's
friends of the gopher
that really look like woodland creatures.
Yeah, he goes.
I have to laugh because I've outfinessed myself. My foe, my enemy, is an animal. And in order to conquer him, I have to think like an animal, and whenever possible, to look like one. I gotta get inside this dude's belt and crawl around for a few days. Who is the gopher's ally, his friend? The harmless squirrel and the friendly rabbit. I'm gonna use you two guys to do my dirty work for me. It's the gopher.
His little high-pitched squeal. He loses his mind. I found myself, I rewound it.
Well, but he even says, and when possible, to even look like the gopher.
And then he really looks stupid. I just thought that whole line of him sitting there, and I liked
That's why I have to say, we'll spoil a little here, but you and I have seen Caddyshack 2.
Yes.
And we are I am not on the side of, like, I like a lot of crap movies and say they're good, but that is not a good movie. But what I don't like is Aykroyd is actively ripping off Bill Murray in that movie. So I just didn't appreciate that. I'm like, just come up with your own character, but he just basically does. And then they bring in that Jackie Mason guy who's just actively ripping off Rodney Dangerfield. That's a whole different thing. So what's your favorite scene?
My favorite scene is the Ty and Carl scene.
Right.
All right, show yourself, you little varmint. You got the guts.
You son of a bitch. Where'd you go? Oh, hi, Carl. How you doing?
Hi, Ty.
Mind if I play through?
Sure, go right ahead. What are you, getting in a late night or something?
Yeah, I was just loosening up a bit.
Was that your ball I heard rambling through?
Yeah, did you see my ball?
Huh? Ty list?
That's it.
Yeah, it's right here.
This your place, Carl?
Yeah, what do you think?
It's really awful.
Well, I have a lot of things that are on order. You know, credit trouble. I'm an assistant greenskeeper. They say that doesn't mean anything, until I'm the head greenskeeper.
Can you give me a ruling on this?
Well, sit down. Come on.
No, I don't want to stick to anything in here.
Well, here, take this thing off. This is dirty.
No, don't go to too much trouble, please.
Here. Fire up.
With my lips?
Yeah.
I don't think so,
Right on.
Carl.
Just right back.
If I could just borrow a wedge or something and get right... If you can open a curtain up out there somewhere, I can get right through that window.
People say, I'm an idiot or something because all I do is cut lawns for a living,
Oh, see, people don't say that about you as far as you know.
Well, I'm working on it, so I don't ever have to, I'm going to be the head greenskeeper. Hopefully within 6 years, that's my schedule. But I'm studying a lot of this stuff so I know it, like, chinch bugs, manganese. A lot of people don't even know what that is.
Great, Carl. Could I get a...
Nitrogen,
Just open a curtain or something over there and I can just get right
I
up.
invented my own kind of grass, too. Do you know that? Look at this. This is registered. Carl Spackler bent.
Oh, yeah. I've felt grass like this before. I've played on this.
This is a hybrid. This is a cross, bluegrass, Kentucky bluegrass, featherbed bent, and Northern California sensimilla. The amazing stuff about this is that you can play 36 holes on it in the afternoon, take it home and just get stoned to the bejesus belt that night on this stuff. I got pounds of this stuff. Here.
No, thank you. No, I don't.
So let's have a little bit of this. I get the big Bob Marley joint. Look at this. Here, try this.
Carl, I really don't do this very often.
You're gonna love this. Is dynamite hack. Watch out for this.
Maybe one drag, I gotta go.
It's a little harsh. But here, cannonball it. Right back. And then one more of these right on top of cannonball. Cannonball coming. Cannonball coming.
No! Carl? Can I have a drop? Just a drop. Myself. That's fine for me. That's good.
Can I say something to you, Frank?
Ty, Frank.
You've been acting psychotically lately. What the hell? Why?
Well, I've been a little under strain. I gotta play with Smails tomorrow.
Smails?
Money match, no.
The thing to do with Smails is, he bothers you, I'll take care of him. What you gotta do to Smails is, you cut the hamstring on the back of his leg right at the bottom. He'll never play golf again.
Carl.
Because he goes back, his weight displacement goes back, and he stays there. All his weight's on his right foot, he's gonna be pushing everything off to the right. He'll never come through on anything. He'll quit the game.
That would work, and I'm gonna call you if I need that help.
But seriously, no BS. You ever want to rap or anything? You know, just talk or just, get weird with somebody. Buddies for life, I think.
I'll drop by. You drop by my place anytime.
What's your address over there? You're on Briar, right?
Briar, 2.
You got a pool over there?
We have a pond in the back. We have a pool and a pond. A pond would be good for you. Natural spring.
Oh, yeah, or the pool or a pond. Anything would be good. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to clean this up.
You go ahead, clean up a little bit. It looks fine to me. Thanks for the dope.
Oh, that was my number 2.
That's
Well,
it.
Yep.
Consider me your number 2.
That's
Yes.
right.
I'm a big deuce.
He's a twosie, folks.
That's right. Always the number 2. I just put that it was those two at their height.
Yeah.
They knocked it out of the park. They went back and forth excellently. They all hit their high notes going back and forth.
Well, and I think symbolically, and I don't think it's an accident, but them physically shaking hands on screen, I think that was intentional. That was not an accident. That was.
I do like the very end when Bill Murray gets the leaf blower.
Oh, yeah.
And
Just
Chevy
random.
Chase just hits the ball. You can tell that ball went like 2 feet. And he just kind of makes like a little face and then,
I gotta get out of here.
Walks out.
I got to get out. So, for me,
credit issues,
Yeah.
For me, it was really hard to decide. So,
But you had to.
I had to. I
you
would
made the
say
script.
my favorite scene of all time is the master scene. So,
What an incredible Cinderella story. This unknown comes out of nowhere to lead the pack. At Augusta, he's on his final hole. He's about 455 yards away. He's going to hit about a 2-iron, I think. Well, he got all of that. The crowd is standing on its feet here at Augusta. The normally reserved Augusta crowd. Going wild. For this young Cinderella, who's come out of nowhere, he's got about 350 yards left. He's going to hit about a 5-iron, I expect, don't you think? He's got a beautiful backswing. He got all of that one. He's got to be pleased with that. The crowd is just on its feet here. He's a Cinderella boy. Tears in his eyes, I guess, as he lines up this last shot. He's got about 195 yards left, and looks like he's got about an 8-iron. This crowd has gone deathly silent. Cinderella story, out of nowhere. A former greenskeeper now about to become the Masters champion. It looks like a miracle. It's in the hole! It's in the hole!
Hey, young fella, I was hoping to squeeze in 9 holes.
So when he's hitting the flowers and it's Cinderella story, he goes, tears in his eyes or something, I guess.
340 yards.
Well, I love it. He goes, he's doing these things. He's about 345. He's got about an 8-iron. And like the clubs he's using does not match the yardage you would hit it all.
That's a driver.
Yeah. And the last one's from like 300 something out. And he goes, it's in the hole with like an 8-iron or something. So, but then my honorable mention, I got 2. My first honorable mention is when he cleans the pool. And then he
Why
goes,
is the groundskeeper
he goes,
cleaning the pool?
here it is. It's no big deal.
No big deal.
I just laugh so much. And then my last one is probably it's a little highbrow for the jokes in this, but I just think it's funny. He's talking to Danny Ty on the golf course, and he tells him that story about there was, I had this college room. There was this guy.
Oh, yes.
He went to college and he was pretty good at it. And he played golf and he was pretty good. And then he got caught and he got kicked out because he was with the dean's 14-year-old daughter. And you know who
15.
that was, Danny?
Bob Hope.
And he goes,
Bob Hope?
was it
Yeah.
you or it says Bob Hope or whatever?
Yeah.
He goes, no, it was my roommate, Mitch Cumstein.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, top 3 greatest character. He has no scenes in the movie. I've never seen him, but I want to meet Mitch Cumstein. I love it. Oh, I love it.
He's like 23 years
Nope.
old.
Love it.
Doinking a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
Ew.
Good for you, Mitch. It was 1980. We're doing lots of coke, remember? It was a different time.
Yeah.
I mean, we had songs like She's Only 17. You had that If You Could Fly song. Pick you up. 16, they said, Stay Away or whatever. There's lots of songs like that.
There's lots of songs. You like
Mitch
them all.
Cumstein was right there.
There's a lot of blues songs where
yeah.
She's 16 years old.
But I like
That's
when he
the
goes.
title of the song.
I just like when he goes, Mitch Cumstein, and he looks off in the distance, goes, good guy.
Good guy.
Thank you very little.
Thank you very little.
Yeah. I love Mitch Cumstein. So, I mean, there's a lot of other great scenes. Him in the Dangerfield in the when they go to eat.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's just a stand-up set. You know what I mean? Now I know why wolves eat the young. Dueling Dangerfields.
No.
Hey.
Hey. I just laughed because I actually said that today at school.
Or was it tigers eat their young or wolves eat their young? Some sort of animal
I said
eating
I
their
just
young.
simply said now I know why animals eat their young.
Animals. There you go. Do you have any other scenes you want to add in?
Oh, I don't.
No.
I think all the Carl scene, when he's talking to the girls on the, you're a monkey woman. You're a monkey woman.
I kind of like when he explains to him how he's the assistant greenskeeper, but I'm hoping to be, like 4 or 5 years. I'll be the head greenskeeper.
I've invented my own grass. You can shoot 36 holes on it and then
smoke it
and
and
get high as
bejesus.
bejesus, yeah.
So
Here, have this Bob Marley joint.
He goes,
all right, cannonball it.
Cannonball. One more time.
I think I took that as when Bill Murray was doing that. It was like, look what I can get him to do.
Yeah.
Look what I can get him to do.
I still do like the scene with Chevy Chase and Lacy, Ty and Lacy, when he sings that song.
I know.
I was born
To lick your face.
But you were born to lick mine first. I think we're going to go up to school.
I heard that scene when she's taking the shot, she didn't know that the cameras were on yet.
I know.
They started because they were kind of in a fight at that time. So Ramus just started rolling, and that's what happened.
That's what happened. And the baby oil he pours all over her back.
Yeah, wasn't supposed to.
He wasn't supposed to do that.
Yeah,
and
that
then,
was
it was her actual thing. You're like, you're crazy.
Yeah. So anyway. Yeah, she didn't have a good time filming with Chevy, though.
No.
Chevy Chase, baby oil.
Baby oil.
Before Diddy got a hold of it.
Baby oil.
5 Nights at Diddy's. All right.
Fat baby oil.
Oh, no. Time out. So, all right, well, it takes category 3, our full logia scene. So this is either a character that you think is going over the top or a character you could replace with logia, and it would make the movie better because he makes every movie better. Yeah. So, Rob, kick us off.
I thought a lot of the scenes with Judge Smails, you could, I think,
I have the same exact thing.
Just pull, and I think I put specifically when he walked in on Lacy and Danny.
Oh,
I would like to see him
just logia
go
going off
shit on Lacy and Danny.
It would be terrifying.
Yeah, because he'd be way calmer.
Yeah,
there wouldn't be. I think he wouldn't go directly to the violence of swinging a club. I think he would just be like,
he'd just threaten
downstairs. 5 minutes.
What are you doing in here?
Yeah, and I think he would just turn and leave. There's no, and you would go down.
Yeah,
like you're not going out the back window. You're going to meet.
Yeah.
Logia downstairs.
No, I've got Judge Smails too. Logia is Smails. That's interchangeable. And in 1980, he just came off, or he's doing Scarface. I'm not sure. Right. So we've already got a good dose of what Logia can be.
That's right.
Even with a Cuban accent, but that's fine. But
there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. No, he's doing a great job. So what do you got?
I could say that we could go tripsies.
Oh, tripsies
on the judge.
Yeah.
All right.
But
But
I'm going to pull mine back.
You got me all excited.
I know. I will tell you that he's the only one I have up.
You're a tease.
Just had one come up.
Nice.
I want him the drunk bishop.
Oh,
there is no God. There is no God.
I'm just a man like you. I am no bishop.
I just want him hammered, sloped down in his chair.
What did you say? Rat fart?
Yeah, rat farts.
Yeah,
rat farts.
That'd be great. So, although I think
no, I think the heavy stuff's gonna come down.
It's not gonna come down for a while. But he wouldn't let Carl just walk off like that. He definitely Carl would have took a 9-iron around the neck.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, category 4, plot holes and or questions of the movie. So I'm going to start this one off. I kind of alluded to it before. What is the plot of this movie? It's hard to have plot holes when maybe there's no plot.
That's funny.
To do.
One of the quotes I found on a chat online somewhere, somebody goes, "There are no plot holes in Caddyshack
because there's no plots." I wrote specifically, stuff just kind of happens.
That's right. Yeah. I had a question. I said, "What is the penalty for getting your ball stuck on a bird's beak?"
Oh, it's got to be 2 strokes.
Yeah,
because the removal's 1 stroke, and then you got to do the drop.
You got to drop seat.
Okay,
yeah.
So I think 2 for sure. Hey, we'll check with our friend Brad on Pop Culture Yearbook because he's an avid golfer.
Is he?
It's like a scratch golfer.
Ooh. Really?
He tours around golfing.
Really?
I want to know how hard do you have to actually hit a ball for it to
the beak
wedge on the beak.
Well, and the angle is just brilliant.
Yes.
We haven't talked much about that, about our individual golf games.
We shouldn't talk about that at all.
I don't think we have one.
Yeah.
I think the last time I golfed.
I think the last time I golfed was with you.
The one time we've told a golf story, it ended up with him in a tree losing a golf club.
That is true. Never got the club back.
I think that illustrates our abilities.
That picture's still on my computer. Every now and then.
I have it. It's on my phone. It's great right now. So
no, I had 2 questions I have. One is, what's the deal with the totally fits with the plot. There is no plot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The scene with Maggie dancing on the golf course in her pajamas.
Yeah,
because she found out she wasn't pregnant.
But does she live on the course? How did she get to the course in her pajamas?
And if she's recently found she's not pregnant, should she be wearing that much white?
Okay, I gotcha. Well, should she be wearing that much white when she initially tells Danny she goes that she's not sure it's his?
Yeah,
that's an interesting turn of events.
And then Danny's on the. She seems surprised to see him. Like, what is he doing there? And that whole scene was just she's dancing and
he did.
It was a weird.
He did just wander out in the middle of the night, and he was in his clothes. And he just wandered out there, and he was like, I was being a jerk."
She goes, "Oh, hi, Danny." And I was like, do you
that,
live nearby?
Is that what she sounded like?
Yeah.
Oh, Danny boy!
Oh, Danny!
Welcome to the 19th.
My pipes are empty.
Pipes are empty. There's no babies.
Oh no! So Maggie and her.
You can put the coat hanger away.
Shut it down.
Dang it!
Time out.
Damn it!
That might get the award for the worst thing said on this podcast in a little over 2+ years.
And I give 2 shits right now.
Okay,
he's been drinking.
That's right.
I'm gonna take the mite out.
Okay.
It is.
We've had some doozies.
It's a declarative statement.
But that's tough.
It is
declarative.
We've had some
imperative.
We've had some interesting Bill Cosby side jokes.
Oh, that's worse.
And
his is worse.
All right, I got it.
Way worse.
So
it was the 80s.
No, the other thing I have is I was a little disappointed in Ty's play when it came time to hit in the tournament.
The bet. Yeah, he's the ace.
Is it because he hit his hand in the door?
I don't know, but
he got real nervous, which is why the night before he was out practicing and stuff. As soon as the money came in,
then
even though he had checks that were for like $70,000 that he wasn't.
Because it says something about that. He talks about like when it's for money, then it's different or something.
Yeah.
So maybe I was like, he got into his head because it's money.
Mm-hmm.
I guess because the reality is,
I do love him slamming his hand. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. I didn't do that.
I didn't just do that.
The reality is, the way they set Ty up in the movie, it shouldn't have come down to a tying or that putt to win it.
No.
Like Ty could beat them on his own.
Yeah, that's
right. How bad was Rodney playing before?
Well, he was.
The kid took
over.
But
if
he got him down a few strokes.
But he shouldn't, because if it's a normal best ball stroke, they just both hit, and then you can hit the next best one. So Ty can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
And the judge is cheating left and right. The judge isn't a good golfer. I don't know what his scores are most of the time, but most of the time he's yanking balls off into the woods. And
so I was just disappointed in Ty's performance.
Okay, so that's your plot hole.
Yeah,
he should have had a better performance.
I had a question. Was how did Carl get so much plastic explosive?
He's got a lot.
He's Carl.
He's former. Is he
the best
former military, or he wouldn't have been in the military?
I don't know. Yeah, he doesn't seem to
have.
He
seems a little shell shocked.
Came from Nam.
He came from
I
Nam.
don't know if he's got
Nam.
the.
He does talk about the Nam.
Ty comes from Nam.
I don't know if he's got the mental makeup for the military. Old Carl there.
Well, okay, since you did a coat hanger comment, I don't feel like what I'm going to ask next is
And you
anything
had to
appropriate.
repeat it?
Perfect. Go
What's
for it.
what's the okay when they're in Ty's abode?
Yes.
And she says she goes, where'd you get all this stuff? And he goes, in Nam. And then she goes, oh, were you in Nam? He goes, no, homo.
Homo. What?
Why does he say that?
I don't know.
What does that mean?
I
Does it
didn't
mean
catch
that
that.
he?
I feel like
you.
I feel like you had time to research this.
No.
I did. I looked.
Oh,
I couldn't
okay.
find it.
I couldn't
Could
find
try.
it either.
The
'Cause
Google
then
machine failed him.
Because then he does a weird
machine.
limp too as he's walking away. Like he tries to. And I'm like,
Like he had shrapnel.
yeah, it was weird. Anyway,
All right.
I wanted to know what that meant. I didn't know what that was a reference to something.
Well, we'll let you ponder on that a little longer. And we'll move on to category 5, worst character / actor.
this is easy.
In the movie. So it's easy, Rob. Go ahead.
Go for it.
I'm going to say Lacy.
Oh, that's a terrible take.
No, it's
Lacey's
awful.
amazing. I love
She's
Lacy.
Awful character.
No.
My other one. Well, I'm not going to say my other one.
Okay.
But no, I think she's an awful human being.
No, she's great.
Even though her uncle says she has a zest for living.
She does.
Yeah,
She's just having fun. She's not doing anything
She
wrong.
sleeps with everybody.
She's living her life.
Sleeping with a high school kid.
Who cares?
I
Good for
feel
you,
that
Noonan.
You're judging.
Yeah, you're very judgy today.
You're a little judgy.
All right.
How many people did she sleep with? Well, and then she had Denenzio was rubbing her shoulders at the pool. She slept
likes the
with
attention.
Ty. She slept with old Danny boy.
If Noonan was sleeping around, you're not mentioning any problems
That's
with him.
right. He had multiple partners.
I know.
One of them he thought he had pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So
She had dirty feet.
you're judgy.
She had dirty feet.
Lacey's great.
In their makeout scene, she had dirty feet.
Lacey's
like, gross. Dirty
Lacey's
feet
great.
in the bed.
You're wrong. So we're gonna move on to Kurt.
I'm going to say the worst character is Al Czervik.
Oh, that's
Wow.
again awful.
Rodney-
I disagree with you there.
I said he's worst character because he's super obnoxious.
But that's what
He
he's
is a-
supposed to be.
He's
perfect.
supposed to be, but that's the character. The character's not a good human being.
All right.
He is obnoxious. I would not want to be around that asshole all the time.
I would. It would be hilarious.
No.
Kurt
Like
is
the things
not
he's
holding
constantly
back
saying.
today.
I feel
He's
like
done.
I feel like he's acting like that before he even knows that the rich folk are just these
Yeah.
pretentious douchebags.
Yeah.
Well, he's assuming.
So he's just
yeah.
But it's
Like when he sees the hat and looks good on you though.
yeah, with the eye roll.
Yeah, I love it.
I just no.
He says nothing wrong in the whole movie, and I'd love to hang around him because I'd be laughing the whole time.
I think he's hilarious while I watch it, but
Yeah.
would I want to be around? No.
Yes,
No,
I would.
that's true.
I wish I was Wang.
Little bit.
So, Wang, get on. Dueling
So now-
Dangerfields.
Nope.
So now your Dangerfield isn't even saying words.
No,
It's just-
Now he's just
when you dueling when you do Dangerfield, you can just kind of see over there.
Wang. Don't tell him you're a Jew.
Oh, hey.
All right. Well, my worst character is Maggie. It's awful. This character is awful.
No.
Her acting is awful.
Nope, she plays it
Her
well.
accent is awful.
I thought she was from Ireland.
She's terrible. Yeah, that's it. I've never been to Ireland, and I don't think they sound like that. I never swum before.
I know. The fact that she used the word swum.
I know. It says
Nobody
swum.
says swum. That's probably the correct way to say it. But
Or
nobody says it. They
the
say
other
swim.
Her
like
other
everybody
horrible
else.
delivery is, "Oh, tanks. That's all I need." It's awful. I hate it so much.
You don't want to marry me, Danny.
Oh, Danny boy.
Danny boy.
The pipes are clean.
The other
All right.
my other choice was Spalding.
I love Spalding. What are you talking about? He's
Spalding.
perfect.
Just a little jerk.
I love it. Picks his
Yeah, I want
nose.
to play tennis.
$50 a year. You're going to play golf and you're going to like it.
What about my asthma?
I'll give you asthma.
I love how golf's going to do his asthma, but
Induce
tennis
it.
will not.
Yeah, tennis will be fine.
Yeah. Anyway.
So he's good.
All right.
And he gets the famous duty.
Duty,
So
that's right.
yeah, he swims away. Yeah. All right. Well, category 6, the most 1980s or 1980 on the dot object or movie prop in the film. What do you got there, Kurt?
Ooh, coming to me. I went with the Polaroid camera
Very
as they're
good.
taking the picture when he wins the caddy tournament.
Very good.
Yeah, that's good.
Polaroid.
That's good.
Nice. Did they shake it off?
They didn't. They didn't shake it off.
Shake it.
Do it.
Shake it like a Polaroid
Polaroid picture.
picture.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
All right, I'm done.
We're good.
We're good.
We're like
Yeah,
the love
yeah,
below.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Is it my turn?
Yeah,
You're
It is.
looking at me. You didn't give me the verbal.
Why
I'm
are
giving
you
you-
always looking at him?
At this point in our podcast history, I feel like I can just give you the nonverbals, and you're free to go. But
Okay.
I'll introduce the segment. Rob, what is your favorite, most 1980s prop?
No, I did. For me, it was the clubhouse or the private club scene
Okay.
setting. To me, that feels like an 80s, 70s, 80s holdover of private clubs and, the rich mahogany and
many
leather.
Okay, here we go.
Leather books.
We're heading down that road.
That's right.
Yeah.
That just seems like something from an 80s, 70s time
I gotcha.
that we don't do anymore. It's not a thing. People don't,
Well, my honorable mention was 50 cents for a Coke. First of all, thinking that's a lot of money and wishing Coke was 50 cents. But my number one was the 10-speed bike that Danny's riding. Nobody rides a 10-speed anymore. It's all mountain bikes. Like, that 10-speed is that's an 80s thing.
Right.
If you were a kid, once you got past BMX phase, you got to that 10-speed.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going. And then you ride no hands.
No hands.
Ladies just throw their underwear at you.
Yes.
Are you riding no hands?
That's what happened to me once. And then it went across my eyes, and then I crashed.
Oh.
Thought they got caught in the spokes.
I crashed because of the spokes, yeah. I figured it'd be like a baseball cart, but it's not.
I crashed because I couldn't ride without my hands.
That's correct. So
I had a little runner-up. It was the striped tube socks that was also a prize.
Really good.
For the caddy.
Oh, yeah.
I liked how one prize was a bag of teas, one bag was the striped socks, and then you just had a trophy.
Take a picture
of
of
the three
those
prizes.
naked women.
Here we go.
Tees. Hey.
Is that Dueling Dangerfield?
Hey, yeah. Go.
Triple Dangerfield.
You want to make $14 the hard way?
You were really something before electricity.
I love it. He makes me laugh. Tell the chef this is low-grade dog food.
Which was actually a line from his stand-up exactly.
Of course. Yeah, why wouldn't
That was
you?
his bit.
So. All right, that takes us to category 7. Favorite song from the film or the soundtrack, whatever makes you happy. I'm going to start this one off.
Do it.
It's a Kenny Loggins song, but not the one you think.
Not the one.
I'm going with Mr. Knight is what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
It's at the pool scene when Lacy first walks in.
Yeah, I listened
and
to
they
it.
play that song. Oh, it's so good. So
I didn't like
iconic
it.
with
I
the
was gonna say, I listened to it too. I didn't like it.
I love it when he does the do it, and she gets on the diving board. Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Love that. Great. Love that song. Love that scene. Everything works perfect. This is just part of your hate for Lacy for no apparent
Did
reason.
you know she was legally blind?
That's fine.
I'm blind.
I'm blind. So, and I would be like, well, I'm not.
Anymore.
So, all right, Rob.
What you got? What you got, Rob?
You see my Mr. Knight and raised me. What you got?
I'm going to do an obvious. I went with I'm All Right.
Oh, okay. So also with the Kenny.
Very nice.
Yeah, I like that song.
You
That's good.
loggies.
Yeah, we're
That's
loggies.
good. I'm not a huge fan, but of him per se. But I like this song a lot. I would have to say this is probably my favorite Kenny Loggins song.
You're just trying to push buttons today.
That's right.
Yeah. The Loggins blasphemy must cease.
Buttons pushed.
Pushed. Don't
I
like
went,
it.
I went with Journey. Anyway, you want it?
Anyway.
on it.
Anyway, you want it?
Mainly because I love the scene of the guys in the background dancing away.
Just going off.
I do like the
It's
dance.
I just put so much old white man dancing
it's good.
in that scene. It's good.
I like it.
All right.
I like it.
I think if you listen to it a little more, you'd find that Mr. Knight is quite entertaining.
Okay.
So, all right, that takes us to category 8. Your favorite character in the movie.
In the whole
Kurt.
world. I went with old Ty Webb.
Oh.
I did like. I thought. I think it's. What I like Chevy Chase the best in. He's not completely gone off the deep end where he's kind of an asshole.
I got it.
It's just. I found him funny with all of his little quips that he has.
He's good
all the way through.
It was good.
He's good.
Was that the nonverbal?
The nonverbal, yes. When you hear the awkward pause and I'm staring at you, that's your signal.
Oh, your uncle molests collies.
I went with Carl.
Oh, okay.
If I remember early on, my earliest memories of this movie was Carl.
Yeah.
Is quoting him and,
I gotcha.
The only varmint is a dead varmint.
Dead varmint.
I would say as a kid,
Varmint
Carl would have
poontang.
been mine, but as an adult, I went with Ty.
Yeah.
So I agree on your assessment of Carl for both. As a kid, those are the easy jokes. They're funny. Yeah. Ty's got some clever ones, but overall. But my favorite now, as an adult, it's Ted Knight. So Judge Smails. Yeah. I think he's the best comedy in the movie because of just his deadpan delivery and how his timing's immaculate on some of those. Like that
he was
one,
the only sober one.
Yeah, that one. The one joke he tells where he's telling Danny something. He goes, "I've sent boys younger than you to the gas chamber. I didn't want to do it, but I had to.
I did it for them or something like that." Yeah.
He's so good. Like his timing in the movie to me is perfect.
Well,
like
what's when he's telling the joke
he goes, Ty, can I talk to you over here? And he goes and he walks away and he turns, he goes, oh, and he goes, I'm right here. He comes back.
Well, like when he meets him in the office after he's caught him with his niece. And and he goes, sit down, Danny. And he's already sitting down.
He's already sitting.
And then when he turns around, he hits his legs on the desk. And you can tell that's like an old school slapstick.
Like vaudeville thing or something. But then he can't see around the lamp.
Well, then when he's telling the joke in the locker room at the very beginning, and he talks about the colored boy or something. And the help goes,
I love the guy as he's
colored boy.
Yeah, I'll show you. And he just grinds his shoe.
So
the way he's talking under his breath, that you're like, what the hell? That was a funny.
So when we think we haven't said the worst things we can say today, Rob throws
it was in the movie.
That in there, so that's good.
It was in the movie.
It was in the movie. You're
that
good,
was almost one of my favorite lines. Just because as the guy goes, "Colored boy, I'll show you."
Son of a bitch. Yeah.
Son of a.
But yeah, I think Ted Knight. I think he's really good in this movie. So
he is good.
All right. Well, that takes us to our category 9. Our last category, the Harry Temple. I should have stayed in Aspen moment.
Aspen it is.
So this is a moment in the movie when a character knows or realizes their demise or that something really bad may occur. I'll give you a verbal this time, Rob. Why don't you lead us off?
Mine was it was a look when Lacy licks Danny's palm.
Oh, nice.
The look on his face. He's like,
he should have stayed in Aspen?
Well, no, I think it was
if she licked my palm like that, I couldn't get out of Aspen fast enough.
Oh no, something bad's gonna happen.
I think he knows that this ends one way, and it's not. I mean, it's not necessarily bad, but
you understand this category.
I understand, but
Rob, it's gonna end messy for sure.
It's gonna complicate things.
It's fine.
It complicates.
I think he's okay with the complications.
Yeah. If she licked my palm like that, I couldn't get out of Aspen fast enough. Exit stage left.
When a character knows, realize their demise or something really bad may occur.
Her licking your palm is not bad.
But
he means bad, mean good. He switched it. He robstered that.
He robstered that thing.
Wow.
It's going to complicate things, and I think he knows that. I think the look on his face, he's like, "Oh shit!"
But he's
here we go.
We're
going to do this. We're doing this, and I have to explain this to my pregnant.
I think the look on his face is thinking something completely different.
No, he didn't.
It was afterwards when he woke up in the.
Let's be honest here. If I've got Maggie over here with her, 12-year-old boy haircut, and I've got Lacy.
This is dirty feet. She had dirty feet in the bed.
I don't
care. Get the dirty feet out of the bed.
I don't care. I'll clean the feet. It's fine.
Get the dirty feet out of the bed.
No. Now she's there, apparently.
She's wearing slippers.
Okay. What is your Aspen moment?
Mine was when the judge lets go of the club. Just the crash. He goes, oh, yeah. And I love that scene because when they pan to Rodney Dangerfield, there's a random guy in a blue shirt and white pants that does the same thing and just throws his club down the fairway
Yes.
for no reason.
There is. There's stuff that happens in the background in this movie that, I don't.
I think
it's
they
just
just
one of
let
those
him do
things.
it.
I was like, what is happening? I don't know. Okay. But it's the one time the judge does something at the club where he's like, oh, crap, I did something.
Oh, yeah.
Where?
And then Danny takes the blame for him. Oh, I should have told you your grips were worn down.
I should have fixed
that. Well, my Aspen moment is Judge Smails' wife in the pool scene. So when she says, when Spalding, they said that they find the candy bar in the pool. It looks like the dude, Spalding swimming. And she goes, don't touch it. So, and also, but also when Carl eats the baby Ruth, the look on her face and she faints.
Yep.
That's definitely, I should have paid, because she thinks he's eating poop.
The dude.
Right? Yeah. It's no big deal. No big deal. So, all right.
That might be the first time we've said poop on this show.
Yeah. Poop's okay.
No, we said he called his poop.
Yeah, he called
the shit poop.
We've said that.
Yeah.
Night of our life.
Boy, we're just hitting all the classic one-liners today.
Yeah.
Poop. The other ones. So, hey, you're not going to get me to say it.
Not going to get you?
Not me. Not today.
No.
All right.
What?
Well, that brings us to our final judgment. So, do you think this movie still holds up? Do you think young adults and kids of today will find this funny?
No.
What's your assessment, Kurt?
I find that for me, it is still funny, still holds up for me with the nostalgia and everything.
Beautiful.
Kids these days, I think they might be a little put off with some of the jokes.
Okay.
Of some of the racial jokes that are thrown in there and stuff like that. They might just say, they were allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I don't know how well how well it would hold up nowadays.
Yeah. What do you think, Rob?
I'm the same way.
Okay.
I think my kids' generation it wouldn't be funny.
Scoff at it. If you showed it to your kids right now, how would that go?
I don't think they'd make it halfway through.
Oh, okay.
They'd be like, I don't even get it. This isn't even Skibbity Toilet Ohio Riz. What's going on?
Yeah. Well, I think, I don't think.
Well, and I think, I don't know. I'm thinking about something too.
Oh, okay.
It might actually, because with the way kids think now, they cannot sit and watch a movie.
Okay.
You know, their attention span really is.
So the lack of plot might actually help them.
That's what I mean.
Don't have to focus
and
the
them
whole time.
jumping around is actually how a lot of like TikTok is. Everything's 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 seconds.
Quick bits.
And quick bits, and nothing really is connected. And I'm like, what am I watching?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it's great. This might be. This movie might actually.
They were ahead of their time.
Maybe that makes sense to them because it was a drug-fueled story.
Stupor or something. Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
Anyway,
I still think it's great. It's obviously funny to me, and I've been watching forever. It's one of the best sports movies I would watch, and it's probably the best golf movie. Maybe right behind it, Tin Cup. But I would go with this as being number one. I do think for the younger generations, I don't know that the Rodney Dangerfield stuff would hit real well, or they would understand some of it. Like the way he told one-liners, people don't joke like that anymore, so it'd be hard to pick that up. But if they just gave it a chance, just turn your brain off for 10 minutes and don't think about it. Some of the stuff in there is pretty dang funny, and I think it's still a classic all the way around. So I'm gonna go 10 out of 10. Must watch whenever it's on, or whenever I feel about it. So
I think it's 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. All right. So we did better than Gene today.
That's right.
Because we went through the whole movie. So
and his buddy didn't even review it. So
that was Gene.
See, there you go.
Raj
did review it.
He did. That's right.
Yeah. So Gene was the one. You're not even listening again.
I don't listen to.
I am aware.
I just
That's the best.
I just wait for the nonverbal.
I got you.
He's waiting for the cue.
So. Well, I think that's going to cover everything you would ever need to know about Caddyshack. Any last-minute shots?
No. I don't.
Pew.
Pew pew.
Pew pew. There you go. So
that was a long shot.
That was a long. Oh.
Yeah, that was a long shot.
You guys are killing me today. All right, fans, if you've loved today's episode,
fans, if you're still here,
if you didn't leave with the coat hanger comment,
if I didn't scare you away,
that's a third. That's the third time.
Well, it's already out there.
Yeah, so we might as well just keep saying it.
Double down.
Yeah,
keep your
triple
clothes from wrinkling.
All right.
You gotta hang them up.
All right, we have to turn this thing off now. Are you ready? Let's close it down.
All right, shut it down.
All right, shut it down.
Fans, if you've loved today's episode, let us know. Follow us on X, Facebook, Instagram, or Threads, and drop us a comment with your favorite Caddyshack moment and or quote, or you know what, any 80s and 90s nostalgia you'd like us to cover, go ahead and let us know. We also have a YouTube channel so you can see the magic of us making each episode if just hearing us isn't quite enough. And you can find any of these links in our always popular show notes, or just Google 80s, 90s Recall, and you'll quickly see what, you're going to see that we're everywhere. Everywhere.
Well said.
We're like that song from Michelle Branch. If you don't know, now you know.
That's right.
What in the world is...
You're everywhere to me. Yeah, I busted it out.
Going.
Okay.
Just keep it going.
All right, Rob.
Okay. Rob, write your own copy for the website or email. Here we go. Let's get nostalgic, shall we? All of us here at the Total 80s and 90s Recall team know that a flute with no holes is not a flute, and a donut with no holes is a Danish.
Yes, it is.
However, we also want to remind you that the Totally 80s and 90s Recall podcast is the perfect complement to your listening experience and the perfect antidote to modern life. Now put down the tuna colada and put away the plastic explosives shaped like woodland creatures and visit Totally 80s 90s Recall at podbean.com, and we will have you wondering if, in fact, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line in the complete and opposite direction. Have ideas for future episodes or comments about previous shows, hit the rewind button and email your 80s, 90s flashbacks to 80s, 90s Recall at gmail.com. We actually read the emails. Let the Total 80s, 90s Recall team help you appreciate the present by indulging in a healthy dose of the good old days.
Ooh, very nice.
Very
All right,
nice.
folks, if you're loving the podcast, we'd really appreciate it if you could give us a 5-star rating. It's like hitting the perfect drive off the tee. Smooth, straight, and you're right where it needs to be. And if you're feeling extra generous, leave us a review. It's like having a hole-in-one in a round of golf. Impressive and unforgettable. Don't be like the gopher dodging the trap. Give us those stars and let us know what you think. We'll be forever grateful. Also, please head over to our online merch store and grab some gear that's cooler than a Caddyshack pool party. From tees to coffee mugs, we've got the perfect swag to make you look like you just hit the winning shot at Bushwood.
Oh,
Wow.
that's your best one yet. Like it's not even close. That was absolutely your best one. We should give you a month off more often.
Yeah.
That was
He's
perfect.
well rested.
He is.
That one
Well,
was
he's well
created
rested.
about 20 minutes
Hey.
before we
Hey.
started filming.
Hey, it's
On
not
his drive to work. He was
It's
thinking,
not how
No,
you
no,
get to.
it was after work before I got in my car to come here.
It's not how you get to the genius. It's just if it happens.
That's right.
So
That's
you have to
right.
look at it that way. So,
Yeah.
well,
And-
Rob, do you have any closing thoughts?
I do. In a VH1.com article titled "It's in the Hole: 7 Things Millennials Don't Understand About Caddyshack," writer Mike McPadden says, quote, "The all-time classic 1980 golf comedy, Caddyshack, revels in raunch, rock, booze, dope, illicit hookups, monumental insults, ethnic humor, gross-out gags, combat against woodland animals, and overall bad behavior, the likes of which define the American teenage summer job experience for decades. Alas, times have changed, but the explosive hilarity and pure jovial joy of Caddyshack have not, and they never will."
Beautiful.
Unquote.
Like
That
it.
was well said.
So,
Yeah.
I do want to also close with, when I'm the voice of reason for the day, that's probably not it.
Yes.
It's
Just
time
what
to
we're
go.
thinking. So, well, you're laughing. He comes back for one day and it's just all off the rails. You
I
can't
like it.
function. and
It's
just,
fun.
all right. Well,
My
balls.
give a shit is broken. I'm sorry.
I've got it. So, well, balls have been put in holes in more ways than one.
Ouch.
And now that we've seen our future, we'll try to be our future. Unfortunately, though, that brings us to the end of this week's episode as we've looked back 45 years at the golf comedy classic Caddyshack. As always, we want to thank our resident big screen aficionado, the Movie Hound, for hanging out with us. And after this, remember, Kurt, Rob has a pool and a pond, but the pond is always a much better option for you.
That's right.
So
I appreciate that.
We would like to keep you out of the pool. So finally, a big shout out to you, our awesome listeners. Whether you're tuning in for the first time or you're a longtime subscriber, we can't thank you enough for hanging out with us each week. We hope we have given you a fun hour or so of laughs and memories and some other weird stuff. And don't forget, you can catch all new episodes of Totally 80s and 90s Recall every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday. There wasn't enough ball jokes in this episode.
There was not.
Yeah.
We didn't really go there.
You sidestepped the ball jokes for different jokes. So
Anyway,
It's just social commentary, baby.
that's all
right.
it is. This is
my favorite look.
utterly great.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Hey, what do we got to do next time?
Love is in
Me?
the air,
Nothing.
Rob. Oh,
Love is
him
in the air?
nothing.
Nothing.
But
I got a
love,
week off.
love is in the
giving him
air.
another week off.
Yeah, he gets a week off.
Love's in the
We don't bring him in the studio for the love episodes.
I ain't got
'cause
no time for love.
might get obscene. So, but you and I are going to do a little episode talking about Valentine's Day in the 80s and 90s.
Okay, cool.
Tune in and you'll find out what all that means next week. But we've got some marching orders. It's going to take some homework. But I feel confident you'll put together a beautiful array of facts and things and love and flowers and anything else you can think of.
Candy hearts.
Candy hearts. I'm sure that'll come up.
Yeah.
So, how's that sound to you?
Sounds fine.
That's good.
I don't really feel like I have a choice.
It's a ringing endorsement, folks. Do you have anything else?
He's so entertained right now. I've got nothing else.
I hate to ask, but fancy goodbye.
I don't have a fancy goodbye.
Well, that's good, probably. Probably avoid one
All right.
this week. There it is, Rob.
Outro, I'm just going to be hanging out over here.
Playing with my ball.
That's right.
There it is. Get it all out now. Get it all out.
Just don't accidentally sit on them. That hurts as an old man.
And twisted balls are worse.
Twisted.
You saved it all up for the whole podcast.
Drop your balls at the end, will ya?
All your ball jokes at the end when no one's listening anymore.
Oh, everyone's still listening. The balls are still there, ringing in their ears.
do 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 do.